E aí, eu sou o Felipe, estou aqui no canal do Jetforce para continuar este maravilhoso FPS CellShading estilo velho-oeste, Call of JUAREZ Gunslinger. E agora vamos para Be Quick or Be Dead, em música do Iron Maiden. Seja rápido ou seja morto.
I dodged death many a time, and that night in Abilene was no different.
Porra, mas já, caralho!
I was there with the intention of finding that bastard Bob and collecting the bounty on John Wesley.
Pressão minha ou os caras estão mais encardidos pra morrer?
I thought the Texas Rangers got hard.
Yeah, that's what they want you to believe. It was cold in a witch's tit and a brass as I fought my way past his compadres.
Opa, não é aqui. É aqui.
To the very same saloon we're sitting in today. Look around and imagine this place painted in blood. Hardin was waiting for me. Wait, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me back up and give you some background on this sumbitch. He deserves that much. Don't you think so, Ben? Wesley Hardin was a killer. By the end, he confessed to taking lives of 4 men. Fathers and husbands, brothers and sons, men with families who cared about them. He was a mass of armed miscreants and other assorted thugs. He and his men set up camp outside of town, and I was hoping Bob was among them.
Damn it! Shoot that son of a bitch!
God damn him!
They didn't ask why. Most of them were wanted as well. I figured Hardin was here somewhere, but to get to him, I'd have to get past his gun hands. And that was easier said than done, as them were as foolish and full. I had to spill a lot of blood to find out Hardin wasn't in that camp. He was carousing in town with his closest friends. Hardin's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the Bull's Head. Some were hightailing it into town to inform their jefe of my unwelcomed presence.
No jogo, acho que um ponto negativo a se destacar seria um pouco o número de armas, né? Um arsenal bem limitado.
I wondered if Bob was among them.
Então não fala apenas uns 2 tipos de pistola, um rifle e cara, eu troquei de arma aqui. Uma espingarda, uma espingarda de cano curto, dinamite e só. Mas isso não tira a diversão.
And I steeled myself for the fight ahead. For as I was, I wondered if John Wesley wasn't just a little bit better. Before I could test my mettle against Harden, however, I would first need to dispatch his cadre of hired killers. Most stories. I didn't learn until later that that night was in fact his birthday. I think I already mentioned that I found Hardin very soon. Suffice it to say, nobody there was seeing me.
Can't get a good shot at it.
I felt a certain hostility.
Jura? Se você falasse nem... Se você não dissesse, eu nem pensaria nisso, utilidade.
I was disappointed that neither Bob were dead. But that was short-lived. As a moment later, I was facing down the fastest gun in the West.
Então a Carol 5 matou por roncar os 40 por respirar.
I felt a bolt of adrenaline. Or maybe that was fear. He was well known for his tricks, and I knew I'd need my own if I was ever to defeat him. That man was faster than greased lightning. But being inebriated as he was, he didn't count his shots. And now, he was at my mercy.
So he didn't die?
No, I sent him to prison. Years later, after he was free, some restless Avenger took his life. Shot him in the back in a saloon just like this one. Anybody up for another beer? Ben?
Êxito. Não entendi muito esse duelo, mas significa que ele não matou o cara no dia.
Thank you, darling. Yeah, some say revenge is a
So what happened to that Bob guy?
First, I'd like to hear some of your other adventures. Like, I don't know, you ever go toe-to-toe with a red man?
Yes, I did, Ben.
Episódio 5.
I remember once I was after this renegade Apache. Revenge was also his primary motivation. A bounty was put on Grey Wolf's head, and that's how I came to hunt him in the mountains. Mountains so high they tickled the nether regions of heaven. Grey Wolf was an Apache medicine man who had led a war party in revenge for a man against his people. Attacked his tribe during his daughter's sacred sunrise ceremony. And the slaughter was unspeakable. I understood his anger, as there's nothing more traumatic than seeing those you love die in a cruel and painful death. And the Grey Wolf was He led a band of young Apache warriors who wanted retribution and were more than willing to die for him.
Porra. Eu desviei.
I saw them. They saw me before I saw them.
Entendi.
They saw me before I saw them.
Ué? Não consigo fugir do tiro do cara? Tentei ser esperto em me esconder antes, mas não deu muito certo não. Só adiei o problema.
They saw me before I saw them.
Não entendi.
They saw me. And it crossed my mind that maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But now she started, there was no backing down.
Ô filho da puta! Cara aqui.
Drug the winter home Karakau. And that's why they had retreated I admit to have some regrets about going after them the way I did. But I got a lot of those.
Did you find Grey Wolves?
Not at that moment, but I did find the entrance to their hideout. A deep crevice that led to a deeper cave.
Don't tell me what's in there.
Yeah, but it's not out of bravery so much as pure, angry custom.
Acho que não tem que cair não, hein? Falei. Lado errado, porra. Ah, tá, eu tô comprando as... Agora que eu vi. Será que é isso mesmo? Eu tava comprando as habilidades. Ah não, agora sim, eu posso comprar dessa. Antes eu não podia.
See, back then, I had a stubborn streak a mile wide, and I wasn't about to back down.
So it was like pitch black in there?
Actually, it was pretty well lit, as they had torches on the wall.
How big was his cave?
Big as hell, Ben. Chiricahua had hid out there during the Indian War. They thought it was haunted with the ghosts of those murdered by the horse soldiers.
The cave was haunted with dead Indian ghosts?
To be honest, I was more concerned with the live ones than the dead ones.
How come you know so much about engines?
A few years back, I was married to two Mescalero women.
At the same time?
Yeah, they were sisters. Polygyny is traditional among the Mescalero.
So what happened?
Oh, I had to get out of there. Those girls never shut up. Both of them me all the time. Drove me. Well, I pursued him into death. I came upon this flooded grotto, and that's when I saw him. He came to me unarmed and unafraid. His voice echoed in the shadows, and I sensed he meant me no harm.
You carry great darkness in your heart. Release it. It will claim you.
Put some kind of ancient Indian spell on me. As his story unfolded in my mind,
You will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are. The soul would have no rainbow.
he said I was a great warrior, a coyote man, unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something.
Shadows just until a venom poisons your heart, and an echo of the song of the dead summons the spirits deep from within the mountain.
I didn't quite get what he was saying, but there was definitely snakes. And indeed, his warriors surrounded me and attacked me like hungry wolverines. They couldn't stop me, though, and Grey Wolf wasn't in the mood for idle talk. I swear I stay out of this trap. But suddenly, one just appeared. Kinda like a mirror. I felt like I would be lost in that damn cave forever. I found I'd perched on the precipice overlooking a thundering whitewater river. To get where I was going required several leaps of faith, but no way in hell I was turning back. I chased after him, determined to make him explain the meaning of all that mumbo-jumbo.
Mumbo-jumbo's right. Are you making this all up as you go?
A few details may be fuzzy, brother, but I am relating exactly what happened to me.
Oh shit. Oh, I found a black hole.
There were dozens of Apache warriors aiming at me from on high. Dozens? Well, maybe not dozens, but there was a lot of them.
At least 3 or 4.
Well, more than that. Steep climb up creek ahead of me and scrambled up those rocks like a mountain goat. I was determined to locate Grey Wolf and find out exactly what the hell he was trying to tell me. And wouldn't you know it, that crafty son of a bitch led me right into a trap.
What kind of trap?
At least 100 Apaches surrounded me.
Come on, who are you kidding?
Hey, I believe you. Come on, tell us how it ended.
All right, but I'm not gonna drag this out, were we?
You were surrounded by 100 Apache warriors.
Well, I didn't take the time to count them exactly, but there were a lot of them.
Aperto de mão. And a pack before me that I had not seen before. Followed it. Desperately needed to find out what Grey Wolf was trying to tell me. But it was like that son of a bitch disappeared into thin air. E foi assim que aconteceu, só.
Never did find him. And never did collect damn bounty.
É isso aí.
Thank you, darling. It's interesting how the truth can sometimes seem, might malleable, depending upon your point of view.
Like how those dime novels make you out to be something you're not?
Jack, don't be starting trouble.
No, he's right. They do tend to exaggerate.
Did they exaggerate your part in taking down the Daltons?
Well, I was there in the flesh, boy, so I saw what happened firsthand. Before they all went bad, robbing banks and trains clear across the territory. Until Coffeeville, of course. I was one of the citizens who took up arms that day.
Fighting on the side of the right.
I did my best, sir. We all did.
Pronto, me chamam de caçador de recompensas.
It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody. You see, dogs got it in their heads to rob 2 banks at the same time. 2 banks on the same damn street. Story was Bob Dalton's girl was always riding him about how he had no ambition. Oh, you're nobody next to Jesse James, she'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeeville just to shut her up.
Right. It's always the woman's fault.
Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before way, half the town took up arms to defend their first mistake was pulling a job in their own damn hometown.
Pepita por perto. Caralho, o bagulho às vezes é embaçado de achar, hein? Onde tá essa porra? Ah não, tá me tirando. Onde tá essa porra? Caralho. Não, não é possível. Onde está isso? Caralho, cadê esse porra? Não tá aqui, não tá aqui. Não tá aqui. Nossa, que raiva que tá me dando. Foda-se.
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently. First of all, it was high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months. Now they finally had them dead to rights. But those boys had a reputation as stone-cold killers, so the marshals took every precaution, knowing they wouldn't go easy. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta wait to see what she's out.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud. He went in there alone to confront those criminals. One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? Have I mine?
But he paid him no mind. He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank. Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they from above. Fortunately, a water tower was right there.
Então tá, né?
A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did. It was brave men like him who risked their lives to this wild country. Heroic men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free. Like Jim Bowie and Davy Crockett, who died defending the Alamo.
Is that Silas Greaves? Son of a bitch!
plan to down those
Ah,
thieves.
aquela devia ser do lado do cara. Eu não achar.
His name was Silas Greaves, and when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
Last man standing.
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened. It was early evening, not high noon. To the safe, and we're all set to hightail it out of there. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies.
Já vi que eram os três.
I had been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless. Those stupid bastards decided to rob 2 banks at the same time in the same town in Coffeeville.
Cadê o filho da puta?
His friends would be like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions. I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose them. Problem was, they knew the town better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Did the Daltons hold up?
Oh, it was the Smiths, They were cousins of the Daltons, and they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, because those 2 families have been feuding forever. And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. Well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old feuds in Kansas caught fire all at once. There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeeville that day.
Caralho, não vi o maluco aqui.
But that times shit happens.
Ué.
The Dalton boys knew I would never give up. Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least 2 of them to escape. The third brother stayed behind to plant me, just in case that trap of theirs didn't work. It was him, the youngest, and he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
I ain't afraid of you, Silas Reeves. This is where it is for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. And I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
You messed with the wrong
Puta, ele dá um tiro com várias balas, tipo uma 12. Deve ser aquela de cano curto.
getting by me, Reeves. Blow your damn head clean off.
Corre que nem um cuzão.
It's hog killing time. Send you to the moon.
The Dalton
Mais
survived the Ralphieville. He's the only...
They saved 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in it? But I have to admit, that boy had grit.
Êxito. Pepitas level 3. E é isso aí, esse um capítulo deste maravilhoso jogo FPS CellShading do Xbox One. Lembrando que eu com 7,50 uma promoção aí da live. Não sei se ainda tá esse preço, faz 1 ou 2 dias, não lembro. Isso aí, vou ficando por aqui. Até logo, valeu, curtam, comentem e se inscrevam no canal.